Hey y'all, so this is draining me a little bit, but this is the last video of the three-part videos that I was gonna do. This video is going to cover the last time I got raped. I've been raped a total of 2 times. So anyway, as you recall, I was raped when I was 9 years old. Well, I entered college, and like I told y'all before, I'm the type of person that I'm happy, always happy, I'm open. Like, I have been beyond naive. I ain't even gonna lie to myself or anybody else. I've been very naive. In my 20s, I was so naive. There were times that I in all actuality, it is amazing that I am even alive because I have been through so many things and I have exposed myself to so many situations where I could have easily been killed. This being one of them. So back then, I don't know if any of you have ever heard of it, but there was a site that was called collegeclub.com. I don't know if it's still in existence, but I used to get on there. I had heard about it. And I would get on there and I would talk to other people who were either at Alabama State University, which is where I graduated from with my undergrad in social work, and other various schools that were in the area or other places or whatever. But, you know, I would get instant messages on there. A little message would pop up. I would talk to people, whatever. So this particular time was no different. I've talked to people on there before and I've met some of them, and I'm still great friends with a few people that I met from on there or on Yahoo Messenger as well. So it's not all bad. You just have to be careful. Just don't do like I did. So this particular time, I met the guy, and I thought that it was fine. You know, he was like, oh, well, he wanted me to meet him. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I've met people before, no issues. So I met him at the house, apartment, or whatever he was living in. It was some area. I don't want to say ghetto, but it was some area, and it looked like, from all the people that I ended up meeting, it was like him, his mama, his aunt, like a whole bunch of random people were living there. And, you know, he didn't have, well, he had a vehicle, but he wanted to hop in mine. I was like, okay, like, again, no red flag for me. I have no problem. He seemed cool from the way we were talking online. I told him that I was in school and I had finals and stuff coming up, and, you know, I was just taking breaks in between because I don't like to stress out. If I do too much, I will stress myself out and end up not doing the things that I need to do in order to pass. So I was like, okay, cool. So I met up with him. My plan for that day was, since I was studying for finals, my plan was, I was still living at home. So I knew I was not going to be able to concentrate the way that I wanted to. So I was like, okay, let me get me a little room. And at the same time, whenever I would take breaks, they had like NBA finals, or somebody was playing the NBA that I wanted to see. It might have been the Celtics, because I like the Celtics and I like a few other teams, but I don't really watch basketball like I did back then. Like, I was an avid fan for real back then. So anyway, I was already gonna get a room, so I was like, oh, okay, well, what we can do is, I was going to get this room anyway, whatever. And I had already told him that that's what my plan was, so I should have known. I just should have known. So I'll go get the room, and we go in there. So I bring my books and stuff in there with me, and I'm like, oh, let me see, you know, what's going on now, any kind of pregame stuff that's going on, that's being said, and the outcome, and, you know, what's on Sports Center, what's going on. So I turned the TV on. Not long after the TV was turned on, he tried to roll up on me. Excuse me? So in my mind, I'm looking like, no, this ain't that kind of party. I just, you know, I was just going to, you know, talk to you for a little while instead of just being out, just sitting in the car somewhere. I was going to be here and we'll talk for a little while. I was going to take you back to where you were. So in his mind, it wasn't going down like that. His mind, his whole thing was going to be, I'm going to get something from you. You're going to spread these thighs, is what he thought it was going to be. So I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I ain't, I'm trying to focus on schoolwork. I am not dating anybody. I'm not in a relationship with anybody. I just want to do my schoolwork. So, I started feeling uncomfortable. I'm like, yeah, so we can go back now. He was like, no, we ain't going back yet. I should have somehow tried to just bolt it. Even though I was like big, then I don't know how I was going to do it. I should have tried. He probably still would have got me. So it got to a point where, I'm sorry, y'all. Got to a point where he was wrestling me, trying to get my clothes off. And I fought him. Fought him as long as I could. Like, it became tiring because he was using every ounce of strength against me. I was so tired. I know I fought him for like 30, 45 minutes. Like, I know a complete show came on and a complete show went off. Like a 30-minute like sitcom or cartoon or something. Like, it literally had been at least 30 minutes. So it had gotten to a point where he had just gotten all my clothes off. He took his clothes off and he put on a condom. Thank God, because I might have been ended up pregnant or with an STD. I'm still trying to fight him. So he's like holding my wrist down like this to the bed. So I can't fight him to try to scratch at him or hit at him or anything, or try to like push his pelvic area and all that off of me or any of that. Like, I literally couldn't fight anymore. So he got what he wanted to get out of me and was like, all right, now we can go. So I think I was so traumatized that I didn't even realize how crazy that situation was that just happened to me. I politely got in my car with this rapist sitting next to me and drove him back to where he was living. And he had the audacity to say to me after we got there, so when I'm gonna call you so we can link up another day. I didn't say nothing. I was just like, I'm saying to myself, like, are you serious? You just raped me. And you think we gonna hang out, be friends, be cool, be anything. Because you like the way I look and all this other stuff, and you forced yourself on me. Where do we do this at? I don't understand where we do that at. I don't understand. So he was crazy on a whole nother level to sit up there and think, oh, it was cool, I just raped her, and she just took me back to where I live, and I'm asking her, oh, I had a good time. When we gonna meet up again? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Please enlighten me on what you're talking about, because that makes no sense. It makes no logical sense. Like, you were crazy. But in all honesty, he really was crazy, because at one point in time, like when he was about to get out the car, he let me know that he had a shotgun, and he just made random small talk, one-sided small talk. He was like, yeah, I got a shotgun. Told me the name of it. I forgot what the brand was. And I'm just like, kind of felt like he was saying that because if I, went to the police or whatever on him, that he was gonna he was gonna find me and shoot me and all this other stuff. Like, everything he was saying to me, that's what it seemed like. And then when I dropped him off, he was like, oh yes, I'm gonna call you later. And I was like, who does that? So anyway, as I was leaving, oh my gosh, the projects, it was one of the random projects around here. It's a project I had never even heard of. It was a project area, that's what it was, I couldn't think of. But anyway, I I was leaving from over there. It's like I was petrified. I was so petrified. I started crying like uncontrollably, and just like looking in my rearview mirror. Like I just kept looking straight and just looking, then looking in my rearview mirror and looking in my side mirror. Like anybody coming out the door with a gun to like kind of be like, no, she might talk, and then I'm just gonna kill her right now. It's a little paranoid. I thought about going to the police because I knew where he lived. Like, even though I didn't know the actual address, I knew how I got in there because I came there twice. When I came and got him, and then when I brought him back. So I would know how to lead them to the place. But I was like, okay. I don't know why. Something just went off in my mind. I was like, no, dude, it's not even going to be worth it. He going to kill you. It's going to be a shoot. Like, I don't know. All kinds of random things came to my mind. Like, oh, no, this is going to happen. So ain't no reason for you to even go to the police. They probably ain't even going to believe you. They're going to say you wanted it. Then ain't no reason to do a rape kit because they ain't going to find nothing on you, in you from him because he was wearing a condom. Somebody going to think you a lie. And if he does comply, he's going to say it was consensual. Like, I just all kinds of scenarios that went against me just popped into my mind. Then I just never went to the police. I never said anything. So he randomly sent me something on College Club one day, and I ignored it and blocked him and all that stuff. But he never tried to do it through any other one. Like some people, they'll become stalkerish and then they'll create other aliases and try to talk to you as someone else, but it's them. But he never did that, so I was grateful for that. But yeah, so that happened. And it really did ruin me. It ruined me in a way where it kind of reopened up the wounds that happened before when the person raped me when I was 9. Then the uncle, who's now deceased, molested me. I was just like blaming myself. I was like, what is it about me that makes people want to do this to me? What is it about me that makes people just want to be like, oh, I just want to screw her over. I just want to do these terrible things to her. I just never understood what it was about me. I didn't wear provocative clothing. I didn't say anything sexual. I never flirted with people. I never did anything to warrant that type of unwanted attention. So I never understood why it kept happening to me. So fast forward to me moving eventually to Virginia. So I started working at this place that has nothing to do with what I went to school for. And I eventually worked on third shift. I met this woman who I became friends with. And I don't know what it was that night. I started talking to her, and I started talking to her about the different rapes and the molestation. And she asked me, did my parents know? And I told her, oh no, I'm not telling them. I'm taking that to the grave. And so she just kept telling me, you need to tell your parents. You need to tell your parents about that. That's something that they need to know. They deserve to know that. And I'm just like, I don't see what they need to know that for. It's terrible. Especially when I was a child, what happened to me. I mean, the person who was my uncle, if my daddy had known that, my daddy would be in prison now. Like, I'm a daddy's girl. My daddy would gladly go to prison. He would call the police and be like, yeah, I just killed my daughter's uncle because he was molesting her. You can feel free to come get me now. And the body. Bye. Like, I look like him, and my daddy would not play. My daddy don't play when it comes to me. So anyway, that person kept telling me that I needed to tell my parents, and I told them I'd think about it. Then third shift shut down for some reason, and they only had first and second shift available. And I came from first, and I enjoyed third shift, so I just went back to first. And she was on first too. And this woman who I met on first before, who is of Puerto Rican and Mexican descent, I would talk to her all the time. And she was actually really good friends with the person who I had talked to before when we were on third shift. And she was telling me I was talking to her one day. I don't know how it came up. I don't know if it was something happened in the news. I told her what happened too with the rapes and the molestation. She was like, "Did you tell your parents, baby? Did you tell your parents about this?" I was like, "No, I never. I'm taking that to the grave." And she again was like, "You need to tell your parents that they need to know this stuff. You should have told them what had happened or whatever." So I was just like, I don't think I'm telling them that. And also, something else traumatic happened to me. I found out that I had cancer when I was my second to last year of college. And I was still on my father's insurance because I was still under the age of 26. And I went all around the insurance company, finding other ways in order to even get to the point where I find that out. Just so it wouldn't pop up on any of the insurance information when my father would go and pay for the insurance. So yeah, there was that too. That was another thing that I said I was going to take to the grave. So fast forward, one day it was heavy on my heart, and I finally said, "God, just please help me to find the words to be able to tell my parents what all happened with me." With that, at that time I just told them about well, actually I had told them about when I had gotten cancer. I told them that my aunt whose husband was molesting me, she ended up getting breast cancer. And she didn't tell the family because when she found out, it was like a month before Christmas, and she felt like she was gonna ruin the holiday for the family. So I came home due to unforeseen circumstances for a week, the week of New Year's. I came home New Year's Day, and my mama told her that I was at the house. She got so excited, asked to speak to me. And that's another story for another time. I'll tell y'all another one in another video. But anyway, back to this video. So I ended up telling my parents about these situations that happened. I'm pretty sure my mother never told my daddy about the molestation. So, I ended up telling them over the phone because if I didn't get it, I got up the nerve finally. So I was like, if I didn't tell them when I could, I was going to tell them. So I said, "Are both y'all in the room? Or are both y'all at home?" And I told my mama that I had to get him on the phone too. So it went, got him from outside and all that. Because my daddy still works on cars and building on stuff. He's always doing something when he's at the house. So he was outside in his little shed doing stuff. So I got up the nerve and I told him about the rapes and the molestations. And my daddy told me that it's crazy because I was expecting my mama to be the one who would talk a lot and ask questions or whatever. But my daddy ended up being the one doing it. He was like, "Well, why didn't you tell us that when all this stuff happened or whatever?" And then my daddy proceeded to tell me that there was one time when he walked past my room and I had the door closed, and he said it sounded like I was crying, but he wasn't for sure. And so he said now that I told him this, he wishes that he would have knocked on the door, just came in just to see what was going on. Because I had been going through a deep depression. And they didn't know. Like a lot of things that happened, it was just so terrible that was happening. To the point where I had been contemplating suicide. Like it was just, there were just so many things that have happened to me. It just seemed like death would feel better than what I was going through. So, oh my God, I'm not trying to cry. Anyway, but I got everything out and I told them about it. And with the first person who raped me, I told my parents who it was, and I told them, if they wanted to, they could go to the person or their immediate family, or go to the whole family and tell them who it was and what happened and how old we were and all that stuff. But I don't think they ever did. But I told them at this present time, I'm not going to say anything. But what I will say to y'all is the person who raped me the first time is someone who a lot of people have seen, have heard of. They're not famous. They just do a lot of things where they are trying to get fame and fortune and all that stuff. And it's still not something that my family would be able to guess who it is simply by me saying these things, because we're known for so much. We sing, we write poetry, sing really well. I'm not a singer. I try to do a little singing because music is very therapeutic for me, and it's helped me get through a lot of things. But we're talented musically as far as instruments and actually singing is concerned, writing, doing hair, doing nails, doing makeup. That none of that's me. I can do hair, but y'all ain't seen nothing yet. So, speaking, teaching, there's just so many different things. But this particular person, they have a lot of things going on. And in all actuality, it's funny because I wasn't the only person that they did this to. When I became an adult, someone else who was close in the family, they tried to tell someone who's close to them about a young lady who stopped by to reveal that he had been doing things to her, had raped her, or forced himself on her as an adult. This person, this girl was an adult. I was a child. So yeah. So over 10 years later, you're still doing the same things. So that was crazy. And they were trying, the person who the information was given to, they tried to tell someone who I guess you would say is close to them about it. And I'm pretty sure nothing happened because they're still out here doing what they do. And it just got to a point for me when I knew I was gonna go to a family function on their side of the family, or go anywhere where I knew there was a really great chance that they would be there. I would just either bow out gracefully, or if I went, I would just say hello and keep going, because the person would sit up there and act as if nothing happened. They'd be like, "Hey, Blunda, how you doing?" And just act like, so we just forget that you raped me when I was 9 years old? That's what we do? Never came to me to apologize. Never said, "Can you please forgive me? I'm sorry." Like nothing ever in life. Never. Never came to me, never apologized. Every time they try to do something, it never works. It's crazy to me because I feel like that's the way that God has been fixing them. Every single time they try to make it, they meet very influential people along the way, and things never pan out for them. They never get to that level. Never. And despite what they've done to me, they are very talented in the area that they work in. They do a lot of things, very talented, but it never works, never pans out. But that person did rape me, and it traumatized me. It really did. It, in all honesty, it did mold me into the person I am today. And it is, I don't want to say it like this to come off like, oh, I'm glad that it happened to me, but it really did help in the sense of when I was doing social work, which I am going to go back into it. But when I was doing social work, I had clients that had been going through certain situations, and because I had been raped, because I had been molested, I fully understood what they were going through. And their body language, the way that they would say certain things, I knew, okay, you're trying to deal with this, or you're trying to hide the fact that this happened or whatever. And it's like, there were breakthroughs that would happen with cases that were given to me that other people never could get even the slightest bit closest to, because I've experienced these things personally. So, I mean, it has helped, but at the same time, I'm very damaged. Very, very, very damaged. I'm so damaged to the point where there are simple things that in courting, with a guy courting me, dating me, anything, like the slightest certain touches to me that should be okay, fine, nothing that'll set off alarms, they make my skin crawl, they make me jump, they make me just cringe and ball up and just reject the love that is trying to be bestowed upon me. Like, I really didn't realize until I became an adult how much these situations traumatized me. Like, I don't like to be touched in certain places at all. And I've tried to work on that, but it hasn't worked. At one point in time, I was having a nervous breakdown when I was a social worker. And luckily, one of my friends, well, old friend, she was a social worker at the time too. I was talking to her and venting to her, saying things, certain buzzwords that in her mind was like, wait a minute, you need to go see somebody. So she didn't say it to me. She went to our supervisor and told our supervisor everything that I said. And so I ended up having to go to counseling. And they paid for a certain amount of sessions before I would have to start paying for my own. So I'm very thankful for that friend reaching out and telling my supervisor what was going on, because that in part saved me from myself, because I have been having suicidal thoughts for over 10 years. It started in school when I had been being teased for the dumbest of things. People had been calling me fat before I actually was even fat. I wasn't even fat yet, and I was being called fat and being disrespected, and it really messed with my head. And I was just like, I don't understand what I'm doing to these people for them to, act this way towards me and to say the things that they say to me. So it was just a lot. But like I said, with the first situation that happened where I was raped, it had just gotten to a point where I would literally be like, hello, and keep going. Like, one time, I remember one of the last times I went to one of the family reunions that we actually had at a school. I wasn't going to go at all because I knew all my kinfolk were going to be there. I was like, nope, not doing it. My mama said, I really need you to go. It was really hot, and my mama baked a whole lot of stuff and made potato salad and made some kind of punch. Like, she made a whole lot of stuff, like the whole trunk and the whole back seat was filled with stuff that we had to travel to the place first, and then it had to be taken in. So my mom was like, I don't want your daddy to be out there by himself bringing this stuff in. She wasn't going to be able to bring it in. So she was like, I really need you to go and bring this stuff in. I was like, okay. Brought the stuff in. The first batch of stuff that I brought in, I spoke to everybody. Hey, how y'all doing? Politely put the stuff on. People tried to be like, how you doing, Linda? What you going to... Threw up the deuces, went out the door. I kept going to the car, getting stuff out until it was over. I sat in there maybe 15, 20 minutes. I know it was less than 30 minutes. I sat in there. I was trying because I've always wanted to have that family bond that a lot of people that I went to school with, I was like, oh, I'm going home this weekend. And they live like an hour or two away when they lived on campus. And I'm like, why are you so happy to go home to be around people? Like, it's like I'm a people person, but I'm not. Like, I was just like, why are we doing this? Why are you so excited? And for me, it was a lot of it was the pain from the trauma that I experienced. And I was just like, I can't do it. But that particular day, after I'd done all that and I sat and I tried to sit through the programs and stuff that they had put on and different singing and stuff, I had just gotten to a point where I just became overwhelmed. I went and sat out in the car for the rest of the time. It was on my phone, like texting whoever it was at the time. Like, I'm so ready to go. I'm so tired. I can't. So, like, I cannot. I can't do it. I can't. So for me, like, my family relationship is very strained with everyone that's not my mom and my dad and my brother and my sister. I had random situations where I had cousins and stuff that just randomly deleted me on Facebook, and I'm like that's the gesture I want to do. Like, why? But there's a lot of drama and just mental illness and other things that is going on, and I kind of can't really fault them wholeheartedly for it. But anyway, it just got to a point where I just can't. My parents know everything now, and I just started to get to a point where I want to live my life, and I'm not gonna let these things hinder me. I do think back on them sometimes, and it makes me sad, but it's not as bad as it was before because, yeah, I've been through a whole lot, which y'all will find out some of the other videos that I will post one day. I might be done for today because I'm tired. And I'm hungry. My stomach about to start growling. I don't want it to happen on camera. But anyway, I want to thank y'all for taking the time out to watch my video. Show me love if you want to. I'm sorry I had to drop all this sad stuff on a Sunday, but I was just trying to get it out while I still had the nerve. It might touch somebody that has gone through or is going through the same thing. But just know that you really can't get through it. You might need to get counseling. If you can't afford it, try to find some free counseling. Or get some friends if you don't have any that you really can confide in that will really be a listening ear, good sounding board. Because a lot of stuff like that is what got me through. I had a few friends that were very much so there for me when I was going through the things I was going through, and paid attention to me and noticed that I wasn't being my normal, happy, cheerful self. So it's great to have good friends, and it's even better when you can have some great therapy to go along with it. So there's nothing wrong with therapy, nothing wrong with seeing somebody and talking it out. Sometimes there are things that you know that have happened that you have said over and over again, and until you hear yourself say it out loud, it might not resonate within your soul that it's an issue or a problem. And that's what amazed me about therapy, is that the fact that these are things that I already knew, that I've said to myself, that I said them out loud to her. It was like, oh my gosh, that's why I'm like this. That's why I feel this way about that. Like, a lot of things were open because of me going to therapy. So in parting, I just want to say again, there's nothing wrong with therapy. I hate that there's that stigma in the Black community where a lot of people feel like, oh, I'm not going to therapy. I'm not going to a shrink. There are people that are out there that are trying to take your money, but you need to do research and find people that aren't and that really are worried about your well-being and want to see you succeed and be a better you. So anyway, I want to thank you again for watching my video. Feel free to comment. Let me know if you've been through anything similar to this. You can get through it. Anyway, y'all have a nice day. Happy Sunday. Bye, y'all.